And today we're going to take a look at yet another Sears Lobo, one of my favorite types of RC cars. And they, of course, are made by Nikko, rebranded as the Sears Lobo. And here we have today's Lobo II. That's right, vintage from the 1980s. One of the greatest, in my opinion, radio-controlled cars from the toy kind of scale or level that came out of the 1980s. They don't make them like this anymore, so let's check it out. Okay, so we're in the workshop here. Before we get started with the demo of the car, let's take a look at the car itself here in the workshop. So as you can see here, I have some original box pieces from a Lobo II box. I do not have the original box anymore, but I do have the car, and this is completely original, no modifications. Now what you can see here is this is a Lobo II. They're approximately from around 1988. I'm not sure if they had them in 87, but I first became familiar with it in 1988. So it's late 80s. It is a beautiful, powerful RC car for its day. Very, very advanced in terms of being a step above the Lobo I. Now the Lobo I, as you can see here, is almost identical to the Lobo II, but there are subtle differences, and actually some major differences as well. The most important difference is that the Lobo II uses 7.2 volt battery packs like this one, okay, whereas the Lobo I used AA batteries. Now, let me flip this over here and you can see the underneath. Pretty standard here. We've got the wheel alignment. This is the battery compartment where you put the 7.2 volt battery pack. And here you have the on-off switch. Here is your high and low gear for your transmission. And here's your motor and gearbox back there. Now, it's spring shocks, air knobby tires. And then you have here a rear bumper to help, that cage there helps protect the back of the car. And you got a spot here for where you can snap your battery wires in place. And then you have more bumpers on the side here. Now when you look at the Lobo I, first thing you'll see is it's a different bumper. This is a more heavy duty bumper versus the Lobo I. Now the Lobo I has a little more to this frame here than in the Lobo II. But that's because the Lobo II had to accommodate for the extra battery space needed for the wires in the pack, where this one, everything was inside with the AA's. And you'll notice here, there's no frame on the back, no rear bumper. Now, according to the box, the Lobo II has the Buggy RS 360 motor, and it's 25% more powerful than Lobo I. So it may even be a little bit faster. In fact, I think it is, actually, to be honest, in my experience. But that is the Lobo II. Now, the Lobo II also has a controller. And now here's the Lobo II controller. It's your basic pistol grip here, steering, turbo, reverse, pretty standard for radio control cars today. Whereas the Lobo I used the standard stick controller, which was prior to those pistol grip controllers. I will do another video specific to the Lobo I, and we'll go over all those details at another time. But today, Lobo II. Okay, one other thing I forgot to mention when I was discussing about the batteries is that the car does use this 7.2 volt battery pack, but also requires a 9 volt. So you have to keep that in mind. When running a Lobo II, you need a 9 volt in your car, the 7.2 volt battery pack in your car, and then you'll need an additional 9 volt for the controller. Okay, so one last thing I just wanted to show you was the steering. See this? Power steering. You do not need to be going forward or reverse to steer like in the Lobo I. So this is a major improvement in the Lobo II. And that clicking you hear is me charging my batteries to run this bad boy. Okay, so that was a quick look at the car itself, and now we're going to head over to a parking lot and give it a good run. But before we do that, I just want to say, you know, I'm not an expert on Lobos, I'm not a historian on Lobos, and I'm not very technical when it comes to RC. So if I left any details out, if I got something wrong, you know, I do apologize. I'm doing the best I can with describing it for you, but I am no expert. So if you know something that I got wrong, or if I left something out, please feel free to put it in the comments so that everyone can learn from it. But I hope I got the gist of it so you can have an idea about what the Lobo II is about. So let's go check it out now.